Welcome back to Grand Slam Sports. My name is Jay Sanj. Alongside Charles Foster of the desk is Jackson Strasburger. We begin today talking about last night's Thursday night football game. The Patriots, the Jets. The Patriots now move into first place in the AFC at 9-2 after their 27-14 win. Travion Henderson, 3 touchdowns on the day. Charles, the Jets fall again.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely kind of went the way that we expected it to go. The Jets actually starting off strong with a touchdown, leading 7-0. But I mean, we're looking at this game, it's kind of become a little bit more evident, if not then, now that Justin Fields is not the answer in New York. He has not looked good. He's barely been over 150 yards in the majority of his games. And this was one of those games, I think, where they finally played against a good team, and it just felt like he crumbled. He had almost more rushing yards than he did passing yards.
But I'm not sure if you can blame Fields solely by himself. Look at the receivers. No Garrett Wilson, obviously now on IR. You bring in John Mechie and Adonai Mitchell in the trade deadline. And A.D. Mitchell, he has 3, 4, 5 drops in that game, which was a problem he had back in Indianapolis. And he had a bunch of drops on Fields' throws that were actually pretty good.
But half of those throws, and some of the ones that I keep on seeing people say, oh, he dropped that. There was a throw that was literally back here. They're saying, oh, he should have caught that. He was a pretzel. I mean, there have been a lot of catches where it's just not a good ball. Now, there were some that were right in the pocket that A.D. Mitchell dropped. It's just 150 yards. No quarterback's going to average that and still have a job. I think
Justin Fields is back there running for his life. I mean, every single play, it seems like the pocket's not even lasting for 2 seconds. He has to move out of the pocket, either run or make a play. And that's why you can't – I don't think Justin Fields is obviously the answer. I don't think he's going to lead this Jets to a playoff game. But I think right now he's the perfect fit for what this Jets team needs, and it's just a filler. It's a person kind of just be a Band-Aid until they get the weapons, the offensive line, and the defense around him.
See, I've always been very high on Justin Fields. I thought he can be a very good quarterback here in the NFL. And to me, he has shown some sparks of that at times with Chicago, with Pittsburgh, and now with New York. He's shown that he can throw the ball. The receivers aren't always reliable, and the offensive line is just not protecting him. And so he's a top-tier scrambler in the NFL, and I think he can be the answer if you put some talent around him.
Here's what I'll say. Whenever let's say you see someone that has been in a relationship for the 3 straight years, they've had one new girlfriend. In every single relationship, someone says, it's the girl's fault. It's the girl's fault. It's the girl's fault. You start to wonder, is it really the girl's fault? We said this with the Bears. It's the Bears' fault. Okay, maybe. It's the Steelers' fault. Okay, maybe. Now it's the Jets' fault. This is 3 straight teams that Justin Fields, people are saying it's the team's fault. I'm starting to wonder, maybe it's not their fault.
I mean, I don't know if that was said with Pittsburgh. He played good in Pittsburgh. It was just the fact that the other quarterback came back and overtook his job. Fields played well. He led them to a winning record with the Steelers.
And yes, he did lead them to a winning record, but here's the thing. Here's what I'll say about Justin Fields. You know all those people that say that Lamar Jackson is a running quarterback? This is what they see with Justin Fields. He runs the ball too much. He's not fighting for his life as much as you think he is. If you watch him play, a lot of the things is him shooting himself in the foot. It's him scrambling because he gets panicked in the pocket. His pocket awareness has not been good. His progressions have not been good. It's time for the Jets to move on next year. Maybe if they don't go quarterback this year, they can have him for 1 more year. But at this point, I'm honestly on the Tyrod Taylor train. He makes more yards. It's the same thing with Kyler. It's just not a good fit. At least with Kyler, there feels like there's some upside. With Justin Fields, I'm not convinced.
Jets 2-8 right now. The Pats on the opposite end of the spectrum now at 9-2, leading the AFC. Jackson, this team has looked really good. Travion Henderson, the rookie running back, had a phenomenal game. Stephon Diggs maybe entering a second prime right now, and second-year quarterback Drake May looks phenomenal.
Yeah, this is the Patriots team. It sucks to see the Patriots be this good again. I mean, we thought they would get a little spot where they wouldn't be that great. They wouldn't be contending for a while. But now with Drake May in this backfield, I mean, one of the best backfields in the NFL right now with Henderson and May both playing out of their minds. Henderson trying to make a campaign for Rookie of the Year and May trying to make a campaign for MVP. I mean, both of these players are fantastic. And then Stephon Diggs, we just saw him get 9 catches, 105 yards. I mean, this is not Stephon Diggs we saw in Houston. I mean, this is what the Stephon Diggs what Houston wanted out of Diggs, but they couldn't get it. And now you have actually a good receiver, a great offense, and your defense is stepping up at the same time.
We'll get into whether we think they are a contender later on here, but let's look now into a team that's falling apart completely, the New York Football Giants. They fire head coach Brian Daboll. Jackson Dart now has a concussion. Jameis Winston now named starting quarterback. Malik Neighbors out for the year with the ACL injury. The Giants are a shell of themselves right now.
Yeah, and I think the Daboll firing really marks down to the incident in the tent. because honestly, I kind of like the direction the Giants were taking. I mean, you sat there, you said they were a playoff team. He was, ugh. But I like the direction that they were taking. They were getting there. And I feel like, yes, the Dable firing is a little bit premature, but at the same time, obviously what he did in that tent is hard for you to justify. And this team is hurt. I think they'd be a lot better if they were healthy. They showed sparks when Scat was healthy. They showed sparks when Malik was healthy. So a healthy Giants team is not a bad Giants team at all. So I'm excited to kind of see as this team grows, especially with Jackson Dart becoming QB1.
Yeah, I think this Giants team is heading in the right direction. That's why I don't think this firing is right. Like you said, Jackson Dart is a great quarterback once he stays healthy. Cam Scatteroo is a great running back if he gets healthy. Malik Neighbors is a great wide receiver. Do I think they're playoff level, like Jay said? No. I do think they have the ability to, in a few years, be that kind of level of a playoff team. But maybe, getting rid of Brian Dable, who was a Coach of the Year candidate pretty much every year, it seems like, I just don't think that was the right move. And then going with Winston over Russell Wilson in the starting this week with Jackson Dart being out with another concussion, I feel like that's the right move at the same time, though.
And I agree with both of you. I think they were taking the right direction. Brian Dable was a good coach. Obviously, he's hard to work with. He's kind of a different head coach to work with than other coaches in the National Football League. But I think it was a move that they had to make. They're 2-8 on the season. They were competing in football games, yes, but they were losing those football games. They should have won the one against the Bears. Obviously, Jackson Dart goes out. Russ comes in, and Russ can't finish the job against the Chicago Bears. A game that they really should have won. They should have won probably 4 or 5 games this year if you're looking back at some of their losses so far. But the Giants, they don't look good right now, Charles.
I'm going to need you to take a look at that camera right there.
We need the context.
Apologize for saying that the New York Football Giants are a playoff team.
I did not say.
You sat there.
I did not
right
say word
there
for word. There was no word for word.
And you had the audacity to look us in the eyes and say,
I said they were going to be better. Was I wrong? Yes. Is there context behind this? Yes. Everyone is injured. Their entire team is currently in the hospital.
One more time. You were wrong?
I was wrong. Yes, I was wrong. But if you look at the context, there's a reasoning behind why I was wrong. You can't predict the injuries that they have to overcome with Malik Neighbors, with Cam Scatteroo, now with Jackson Dart, the rookie quarterback, who I was very high on when the Giants picked him. I thought it was a risky pick, but it's one that I think will work out in the long term for the New York Giants.
I say, yeah, the Jackson Dart pick has worked out so far. He's definitely shown his inexperience at times, but obviously he's a rookie. So I think, yes, it could work out in a long time. And Cam Scatteroo, as I said he would be, has been phenomenal for this team. And he probably only has like a 3-year career, but he's been great.
Let's go ahead and shift gears now and look at kind of our midseason MVP picks right now. It's kind of a 4-way race right now between 4 guys, and we each picked a different person for our midseason MVP. Charles, we're going to begin with you. Who do you have right now as your most valuable player?
It hurts to say. Jonathan Taylor has been great. I'm a JT guy. I love JT. He's been phenomenal. And he has been the best running back in the league and second best running back season that we've seen within the past 5 years behind Saquon. I think he should be MVP. Will he win it? Probably not. He doesn't play quarterback. But he absolutely should be MVP. He has been by far the best player. And he, in my opinion, is the reason that the Colts are 8-2 and why they are so good.
Here's the thing. He's on pace to become the first Triple Crown winner since 1988 in rushing yards, touchdowns, and yards per average, which is about 6 yards right now. And he has 15 touchdowns. This is already more than Saquon had all of last year. And Saquon was in the MVP talks. It's pretty impressive what he's doing right now for the Indianapolis Colts. Personally, I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford, a guy who has not won MVP before, but a guy who I think deserves one at this point in his career. He is playing some of his best football that he's played, and he's towards the back end of his career right now with the LA Rams. Right now, he's currently first in touchdowns thrown in 25. He is fourth in yards, but he's 2 games less played than Drake May right now, who has the first in the current yards per game. So I think Stafford right now playing phenomenally. Yes, he has Puka Nacua. Yes, he has a great team, but Stafford is playing the best ball he has played in his entire career.
Absolutely. I wholeheartely agree. Jackson?
Yeah, so like you said, Drake May, who leads the league right now in passing yards. Yes, he's played more games. Drake May is my pick. I just feel like, his team is so much worse on paper than how they're winning, and he's taking this team up another level. He's making this team kind of step up, play at a higher level, and, leading the team in passing yards, or leading the league in passing yards as a second year, or a rookie, second year. And coming in here, making the Patriots relevant again after they had to go through Mac Jones and a whole bunch of other quarterbacks that just didn't go well. And he's just been fun to watch, especially last night seeing him play the Jets. It was a great game.
And Jackson, do you know why I think he's been so good? Vrabel coming in. He was always a great coach in Tennessee. The Titans made one of the worst moves, I think, in history by firing him, because he led them to their first ever AFC championship, first ever since the Super Bowl, obviously, that they lost in the Super Bowl against the Rams back in the day. But Vrabel is a phenomenal coach, and him being a Patriots guy during his playing career, he comes back to New England, and in his first year, they're 9-2.
Yeah.
It's very obvious that he is a very good head coach in the National Football League.
Absolutely, and we're going to look at some of these teams right now. So we're going to go to this week's Foster 5, and we're going to do a little bit of a fraud watch. One of my favorite things to watch is some of the best teams in the league. How good really are they? These are my top 5 teams that I think could potentially be frauds this year. So let's take a look at number 5. I have the Colts. This is a good thing for you, because before I would have put them 1 or 2. They have definitely improved. They have opened my eyes a little bit. The biggest question has been strength of schedule. In that we can admit that the schedule has not been amazing. However, they've beaten the teams they should beat, and they've beaten them by a lot. So they're on my fraud watch, but they're not very high. I think that they could have a very good season. Number 4, we have the Broncos. The Broncos, they're 8-2, a very sneaky 8-2 team, but their offense has just quite simply not impressed me as much as an 8-2 team should.
They say defense wins championships, but you are going to need an offense to win championships. Right now, Bo Nix is too inconsistent. I don't trust their running game with R.J. Harvey and the other running backs they have in Dobbins as well. They just need to be more consistent offensively. Then I would consider them a contender, but right now they have won very close games against some bad teams. I don't trust them.
Yep, and looking at this now, number 3, the Bears. I think this is, honestly, they could be higher for me. I think after last night, I might put them at 2 with the Patriots. Instead, I just spoiled my next pick. But the Bears, they're 6-3. They're really only there because their division's not that good this year, and they've once again had another pretty easy schedule.
Yeah, I agree. The Bears have just been this team they've played easy teams, and they've lost to some good ones. They've lost to some bad teams like the Jets. I mean, they just haven't really played anybody, and when they do, they're not playing fantastic. Against these bad teams, they're not winning by this wide margin, and I just think this Bears offense has definitely stalled out.
Yep. Looking at number 2, we have the Patriots once again. Just a team led by a second-year quarterback, not an amazing staff. Not an amazing wide receiver staff or wide receiver room. It's a good team. They've impressed me. They made a lot of moves, but I just don't think they're there yet. I just think they're going to get beat by that bad team.
And they're facing a last place schedule this year, so the schedule has been very, very soft. They only have 2 really tough games left in the season. There's a good chance they end up first in the AFC because of it.
There's been cupcake over there in New England. And number 1, the team that lost to one of those cupcake teams, the Buffalo Bills. I said it a few weeks ago. I said that they were going to be my number 1 fraud watch team. Here they are losing to Miami. I love it when I'm right. It feels great. Buffalo is just, they have Josh Allen. That's about it. They're hurt, but just not amazing. Not a big fan of them, Jackson.
Yeah, this is a team with the Broncos, are teams that I wanted to see make a move. There's a lot of wide receivers on the trade market, and they just sat on their hands. I mean, they probably made an offer, but it wasn't good enough, and I just feel like those 2 teams are just a superstar wide receiver away from being a Super Bowl champion or an AFC champion, and I didn't make a move and just watched it.
Call me crazy. Their head coach, Sean McDermott, I don't trust, never have. I think he should be fired. Speaking of being fired, Nico Harrison is out in Dallas. We're going to get to that when we come back on Grand Slam Sports. Welcome back again. We're now going to take a look at the NBA. Evan Porterfield joining us now over at the analysis desk. The Mavericks will start our conversation off. Nico Harrison is out. The questions are really in for the Dallas Mavericks and what they do from here. Evan, we'll turn to you first. Nico Harrison, the GM, is out in Dallas and had to move forward now with somebody else.
You know, I think this is so deserved. I mean, this whole little story about Nico, it's just, he's a silly guy, bro. I mean, you just traded your franchise player. I mean, not just, but he traded his franchise player. The guy, the one and only Luka, the guy who's now averaging nearly 40 points at the Lakers. I mean, this guy is a star. Why? Oh, because he's not ripped enough. Because he's out of shape. This guy is not out of shape. He's a superstar athlete. It's just silly, and this team is injury prone, which obviously you can't predict. But trading your franchise player for what? I don't know, bro. And for AD, it just doesn't make sense. I think it's time. This is deserved. I'm excited to see what this team happens. You know, I think that they should, once they get their new coach, just play around with what they currently got. And I think this was the right decision.
You know, Nico Harrison previously talked about his resume and how impressive it was. He needs to add turning a title contender into a lottery team in less than a year to that resume. I've never seen this bad of a job done by a GM in the NBA in a long time. Because how, like Evan said, are you going to trade a superstar future face of the league in Luka Doncic for a washed up and injured Anthony Davis and whatever else they got, Max Christie, and a 2029 first round pick? That's not enough for a guy like Luka, who probably garners at least 5 first round picks, in my opinion.
Rudy Gobert got how many first round picks? Paul George got how many first round? The Thunder are a dynasty team.
They have 4 first round picks this year, you know that, right?
The Thunder are a dynasty team because of the Paul George trade, and you mean to tell me that you could trade the Luka Doncic and you guys suck? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, you trade Kyrie Irving, who's injury prone. Cool. You guys made the finals. It worked out. I didn't think it would. I'll take it. I was wrong. Then you trade for another injury prone player, and guess what? They're both injured now.
Surprise.
Surprise. I mean, I feel like it's just the answer was there. And Nico Harrison, his resume is not impressive. I mean, he's a sales rep. I mean, he had no NBA experience before getting this job. He took this job, and he did an okay job. But I mean, the team, he turned a Dallas team that really, it didn't really take much. You have Luka Doncic, you could honestly sit on your hands and probably make a few titles. But somehow you ruined that. Genuinely, he had the easiest job. He had the Sean McDermott of the NBA, where you just kind of sit back and let your star player do things, and you sit there and you ruin it, and you send them to the Lakers. They got the first round pick. Maybe it'll work out, but as of right now,
the Lakers aren't doing bad either. Like, Luka's pretty much carrying this team on the back. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, an AD for Luka just doesn't. It's not even comparable.
You know what's crazy? The Mavericks and Pistons were on the opposite side of the spectrum about 2 years ago. They've completely flip-flopped now. Detroit is now one of the best teams in the NBA, and they have won 8 games in a row. Detroit basketball is so back. Cade Cunningham is a superstar. Evan, these Pistons have looked phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're on like a 7-game win streak right now. Cade Cunningham, I mean, that is a baller. That guy he's great. He's the star that this team needs. And then you add Jalen onto that as well, averaging 19 points, being that good support that he needs. You know, he's got the 4th most double-doubles before turning 22. So he's young. He's got the 4th most double-doubles, tied with Shaq right now, actually, fun fact. And I think this team is a good example of why, like, defense, having a super strong defense, and then a star here or there, builds the perfect team. I mean, I feel like we saw this with the Pacers and with Tyrese and Pascal. You build a really solid lineup of defense and people who can support, and then you have your 2 stars, you're going to see success. And I'm really interested to see how the Pistons do. I think they might be a surprise this year.
And Evan, you hit on the head there. Elite defense, offensive firepower, depth, all of that is what makes Detroit so good so far. The problem is they are very injured right now. A lot of guys are injured, including Isaiah Stewart with the ankle, Asar Thompson with the ankle, Jalen Duran with the ankle, Tobias Harris with an ankle. Something's going on with the ankles. They're biting ankles out in Detroit. What's going on there? And then Cade Cunningham's also currently day-to-day with a hip injury. So that's basically 5 of your top guys injured right now for the Pistons.
Do we see what happens when we keep all stars? They draft Jalen Duran, an 18-year-old out of Memphis. They draft Cade Cunningham, kind of a project player at the time. I mean, he was a #1 pick overall, don't get me wrong, but he was still a project. There were still things that needed to be worked on. Cade Cunningham, they sat there and they were, 2-26, one of the worst teams ever. They didn't blow it up. They kept their young talent. And now look at this team. Nico Harrison should have taken notes. The Pistons are one of the more well-built teams that we've seen in a very long time because they've built so well. We look at this lineup. We look at Duncan Robinson, a very sneaky pick that brought in. Some people were like, oh, Duncan Robinson, last time you gave him a contract, he was bad. He's a shooter. He's doing his job. You bring in Tobias Harris, he's doing his job. These are players that know their role. No one's trying to do too much. They sit back and let Cade Cunningham do his thing, and they do what they're supposed to do. Very similar to the Bucks.
My thing for the Pistons is they haven't really impressed me with their win so far this year. The Bucks win maybe over Houston. Then you have Boston, Orlando, Chicago have been some of their best wins so far. Other than that, it's been a pretty soft schedule. And upcoming, it gets even softer. Philadelphia, Indiana twice, Milwaukee, Atlanta. Not too many difficult games for the Pistons so far. What's it going to take for them to be one of those contenders in the NBA?
Well, #1, the East sucks, so that they're not going to get a lot of contending in the East. But this team was good regardless. They were good last year. This is a good basketball team. I mean, that's just the way they're a well-built team. And so, yes, they're beating easy teams, but I don't think this is as much as like football where, you know, you go and you beat easy teams. You play 82 games, you're going to play every single game. I think once they go to the West Coast and start playing against those teams, we're going to see how good they really are. But right now, the Eastern Conference is kind of bad. You can't really blame them for that. They're going to be a top team in the East.
And Charles, you mentioned Kate Cunningham being a project coming out of college when he was a rookie. Well, we have 3 rookies right now who have impressed us so far in this most recent draft class. We're going to take a look into those 3 rookies now. And I'll begin things off talking about Cedric Coward. Drafted 11th overall by Portland, traded to Memphis in the NBA draft. So far, averaging 14, 6, and 3 a game, shooting very well. This guy is an elite shooter, elite 3-and-D player, can play defense, a good combo of size as well, 6'6" and 7'2" wingspan for Cedric Coward. And he means he's older for a rookie. Yes, he's 22 years old. He's coming off the bench, though, with these averages, and he has been an elite 3-and-D player so far for Memphis.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with my next rookie with Concanepo. And we take a look at Cedric Coward as well. And you mentioned how he's a little bit older, but I feel like that's kind of the way the NBA is going now. We're seeing a lot less 19, 20-year-olds come into the league. And Concanepo, he's been great. I mean, obviously, it really, really helps that LaMelo and Brandon Miller are very injury-prone. But he has looked like the most NBA-ready rookie coming in to this year. I mean, he has 4 games with 20-plus points. He had a 30-point game as well. I mean, he's been out there. He's been scoring. He's been, honestly, the best Duke player in this draft. He's been playing better than Cooper Flagg to start the year. And not expected, but you could kind of see the flashes of it when he was playing at Duke.
And I was very impressed by him when he was at Duke. The way he shot the ball at Duke, this guy is a lights-out 3-point shooter. And I feel like teams, they completely sleep on his ability to drive as well, because teams are getting very outside the arc centric on him, and then he drives and lays it in. He's able to do more than you actually think he can do. But Evan, who's your rookie?
I'll give it to you guys. You picked really good rookies. I'm a little sad that I don't have Concanepo, but I will give my Wizards a shout out. Trey Johnson, he's good, guys. He's a contributor. I don't think he has the potential to be a star on this team and really contribute, but as of right now, he's really contributing and building that team. With averaging 11.9 points, he's got a beautiful release and jump on his shots, and it's quick, and he doesn't waste any motion. I think he's really clean with his shots. He has Devin Booker type comparisons. I think this guy, he's a great contributor. I think if you give him a couple more years, you keep giving him some play time, he could really be something for this team. And, I really like the Wizards. I know you guys like to hate on the Wizards, but I kind of like the Pistons. You keep your young core, you might really make something. So Trey Johnson's part of that.
And like you mentioned, keep your young core. Trey Johnson, he was a product out of Texas that I was a really big fan of. I think that, he's a lengthy scorer. He has that 3-level ability that not a lot of these players have as consistently sometime. And yes, obviously I picked Concanepo. I like the pick with Trey Johnson. I think that, like we mentioned, 40% from 3. He's very consistent. Not as consistent on the inside. That's what I want to see him get a little bit more consistent. And I want to see him be able to take that. We talk about 3-level scorers, but you got to be consistent on all 3 levels of that. But like you mentioned, he has that D-book type ability of, a lot of fade game, a lot of 3-point game, and lengthy where he can kind of shoot over you. He uses his body very well. For a guard, he has a very kind of stringy body that kind of makes him different than other guards that he can use to really be really shifty and get himself some creative shots.
What I want to see more from him, though, is more of that passing and playmaking ability. Because yes, he is a guard, and in today's NBA, you need to have some kind of ability to, create plays for your teammates. And right now, he hasn't really shown that. He's averaging 1.4 assists per game. He's not really a pass-first kind of guy. He is that get the ball, take a shot kind of guy. And I compared him. I was looking in my research, kind of to a Buddy Hield almost. He gets that ball, he takes that shot, but he's a little bit more of combo guard ability than Buddy Hield does currently. So I think Johnson will be a better player than Buddy Hield is inevitably. But Trey Johnson, to me, is currently a project like Evan mentioned.
Yeah, we take a look at Evan. I know you're a big fan of Concanepo. I want to ask you, what are you seeing out of Concanepo that's really impressed you so far this season?
Honestly, Charles, he's just nasty. He's just really good, bro. I remember tuning into a game, not really expecting, I didn't know what I was tuning into. I just knew I was tuning into a Hornets game. And I'm watching this guy, and he's just so good, bro. Give him the ball, and he's going to make a bucket. And I'm really impressed by this guy and the confidence that he has. Concanepo's great.
He's been a big beneficiary, like you said, of the LaMelo injuries, of the Brandon Miller injuries. You know who else is hurt? The Maple Leaf star, Austin Matthews. We'll get into hockey talk next on Grand Slam Sports.
Jason, Evan are gone. Joining me, Alyssa Puente and Jackson Strasburger is back there. We're going to talk about a little bit of hockey, and we are going to start off with my dearly beloved Austin Matthews taking a tumble, and I don't know if Humpty Dumpty is going to be back up for another week. Alyssa, Austin Matthews, what is this Maple Leafs team looking like without him?
It's not looking good. Again, their offense is good, but when you're losing that captain again, he was out last year for injuries, and then now we're losing him again for injuries, and then the defense is just not there at all as well. We need the captain, and when he's out, the team just kind of falls apart.
This Maple Leafs team their issue has always been their defense. And Austin Matthews isn't the greatest defensive forward, but he can still go back and play defense. You lose him and your captain, to a bad injury. We've seen him get lost. And this Maple Leafs, right now, what they need is a leader. They've already lost their last 4, and now you go out with another week where you're not going to have Austin Matthews. I just don't see this team as heading in the right direction. As they were 8-4-2 before this stretch happened. Now they're 8-8-2. They're keep on falling, and they're not looking up.
Yeah, and this stretch has not been amazing for the Maple Leafs, as we talked about, and defensively as well. And Austin Matthews does bring that layer of defense. Luckily, offensively, they're covered. Matthew Nice has looked very good. William Nylander has looked good. And then, of course, Tavares had a goal last night, had a great game last night. The team offensively has been great. They have plenty of weapons despite losing Mitch Marner. But then you take a look at this defense, Morgan Riley, Ekman Larson, they have not been a phenomenal back line. And we've seen this often. Even when they have their back line in, it really only feels like it's one good line. The other 2 lines feel like that's where they give up goals. You take a look at the game, especially if you're in my shoes where I have notifications on for all the games and I just see Leafs down 0-1, Leafs down 0-2 within like 2 minutes. And it just feels like when the goals come, they come in bunches.
And the Bruins, who they played, who lost 2 of this past 4 too, that's a good team. They're hot right now. But it wasn't even close. The Bruins were putting pucks on net. The way they were playing is just dominant forces. And that's the way, because the way any Leafs game has been, either they're going to win in dominant fashion or they're going to lose in dominant fashion.
Absolutely, and we see Austin Matthews, obviously, he's not had the best season as he normally has. He's been kind of back and forth. He's been a creator. That's been the biggest thing for him, of course, having 16 points. He's looked solid, but it has really been, surprisingly, a lot more offense coming from some of the younger guys, especially Matthew Nice, who's really stepped up for this team. Alyssa, I turn over to you. What does having a younger forward do for you, especially as a Maple Leafs team that's trying to get back to the glory days from before?
Having the younger forwards, you have more time with them compared to the older vets on the teams. They can continue to improve. They can learn from the vets, and a lot of the younger people are just doing better overall. And I also feel like the Leafs they need to look at the trade options. I feel like if they look at Blackhawks, they have Louis Krevy, who was a 7th-round pick for the Blackhawks. He's younger. He's not the best, but I feel like trading him in and putting him on that offense is going to help as well.
If we take a look at young offenses, especially young Blackhawk offenses, Connor Bedard doing what Connor Bedard is expected, but even more. This kid has been phenomenal, and currently right now, 26 points for the Blackhawks, by far their leading point scorer. Alyssa, I turn to you. What are you seeing in Connor Bedard? What is making him so impactful for the Blackhawks?
I think this is the Blackhawks' future right here. He's compared to Patrick Kane. He's almost tied with what they've done within their first 164 games. They both have about the equal stats. And the Blackhawks are doing the best they have since 2016. They need to keep him. They need to keep improving with him and just really make sure to nail it with Connor Bedard and whoever else is on that team with him.
Yeah, this Blackhawks team, you look at Connor Bedard as the main focus of this team, but they've built around him as well, and that's what they've done so well. He's able to facilitate and score, and to do that, you need the pieces around you, the whole team, and that's exactly what the Blackhawks have given Bedard, and that's why he's right now, I would say, probably the leader for MVP.
Absolutely, leader for MVP. At least on my watch, for sure. 10 goals, 26 points. The Blackhawks have taken a pretty solid start to the season, 8-5-4. And now we take a look at this. Connor Bedard, he's so impressive because he keeps the puck on a string. It feels like wherever that stick goes, the puck's going with it. And he is just so shifty. He does such a good job in the opponent's side at creating, at making options for himself. And even when he's double teamed, he's getting himself open. Connor Bedard is so impressive, and we haven't seen anything like this in such a long time. We've talked about him in the draft. We talked about how good this kid is going to be. We compared him to like Cooper Flagg and Wemby as in the basketball terms of this kid is the future, and he has been like that for Chicago. And Chicago, they have their guy. Watch out.
Yeah, and Chicago definitely needs it for sure. Chicago Chicago sports in general, we don't have the greatest teams at all. So having the Blackhawks kind of be the best team right now for us that's our victory. Yeah. And if you even compare his stats compared to coming into the NHL to now, he's shooting about 17 shots per game. He's also making about 1 to 2 goals per game as well, and that's so impressive coming from just starting 3 years ago in the NHL.
Yeah, this kid is legit, and he is definitely the future for this team. And I love to absolutely see what the Blackhawks are going to do in Chicago sports. They finally have something to be happy about. The Cubs are decent. The Blackhawks are good. The Bulls are good. And, things are going well in the city of Chicago, well, in sports-wise at least. But that's going to be all for Grand Slam Sports today. I'm Charles Foster, Alyssa Puente, Jackson Strasburger. Have a good night.